the Washington Redskins select Jonathan Allen, defensive end, Alabama.
Well, there it is. After the long wait for Alabama players to hear their name called, back-to-back defensive players from Alabama off the board. Marlon Humphrey to Baltimore, and staying in the Beltway, it is Jonathan Allen, the defensive end, out of Alabama, going to Washington and close to his hometown of Leesburg, Virginia. You know, if it weren't for the shoulder, you have to think it would have been earlier that he would have come off the board, but his tape is tremendous.
Hey, you look at this kid, how can you not like him? He was up in Bristol last week, and what a classy kid. I mean, he's a professional, he's mature, he's a character off the charts. And you watch him, he's scheme versatile. He can play inside as a 3 technique and get heat on a quarterback from up the gut pressure, which quarterbacks hate. He's your 3-4 end against the run, pass rush situation, you can kick him inside. This kid comes to play every week. Some of the plays he made this year were highlight film plays. His hand usage, his technique, look at him there, the way he uses his hands, his leverage, his strength. His functional strength with the pads on is outstanding. He's a kid plays all out all the time. I'm kind of amazed that I thought, yeah, he's second best player. I thought maybe he could drop to 9 because of the shoulder, which some teams said wasn't a big concern. Others were a little bit leery of the shoulder, but the bottom line is to get a guy that most thought was one of the best 5 players in this draft at pick number 17, and it fills a need. And this run on Alabama players that you mentioned, with Baltimore taking Marlon Humphrey and Jonathan Allen to the Redskins, you got O.J. Howard, tight end, and Reuben Foster, inside linebacker. They're going to come off the board pretty soon, Lou.
Yeah, these are, look, the Washington Redskins right now.
That's the Superman play.
Absolutely have to be giddy about the fact that he fell to them. But this is a guy, you talk about scheme versatile. He can play the nose, he can play a 4 technique, he can play the defensive end in the 9 technique, he can play just about anything you want him to. In defensive tackle in particular, when you're talking about defensive line, defensive tackle in particular is exactly what the Redskins need. 4.7 yards per rush given up against the run over the past 2 years. It's worse than the NFL. They have to solidify the middle of this defense. They need to solidify it on the D-line, at the linebacker level, and at the safety level in the secondary. This is absolutely a slam dunk pick for them that just fell into their lap. They have to be happier than happy.
Well, he's got all the awards for a reason. He's got 45 career tackles for loss, 28 sacks. The only guy in Alabama to have more sacks than Allen is Derek Thomas. And his instincts set him apart. He's been well trained. This is a surf technique, I call it, where the quarterback is reading him. And he's going to close down the line of scrimmage, and he's going to take the back and the quarterback. Watch him. He's unblocked. It's a little surf technique. He can take the quarterback and the dive, and nobody does it better in college football instinctively than Jonathan Allen. He can hold the point of attack, keep Zach Brown, their new linebacker, clean. He can get rid of people with his hand usage, and he has great ability to play a single gap scheme or a 2-gap scheme. Lewis, he can play inside or outside. Those 28 sacks come from everywhere, and the Redskins desperately need help in the pass rush. I'm shocked he's there at 17.
Are you have any concerns about the shoulder? Anybody here have any concerns about the shoulders? Because that seems the only thing that was holding him back here.
Well, sure, there's some concern. I mean, that's why he slid, because he's definitely not his on-field play. But look, as long as you get him through his first contract, you maintain him, you make sure you try and take care of him, and then after that, you just kind of take it as it comes. He's too good of a player to let slide this far, so as it is. And at 17, I mean, he's